Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody's all set behind us? Alright. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda, Marissa?
I'm not seeing Greta from NRPC. I didn't hear from her today, so I don't know if she's gonna make it, so
Okay.
we can just,
We'll
take
go-
her off.
We'll play it by ear.
But yeah,
That's it?
yep, that's all I have.
Alright. Approval of the 11-3 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Get a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Christine,
Hi. Hi.
Library Director, introduction.
Hi. First of all, I just want to thank you all for having me and being on the agenda. My objective for tonight is just to introduce myself. That's it, really, and just get to know everybody in this room. So just providing a little bit of background into my experience. So I'm the new library director here in Richford. I have worked in public libraries off and on for 16 years. I'm originally from Ontario, Canada. Before this, I was actually the director at Highgate for a year, and a wonderful working relationship with our select board. They're incredibly supportive. So currently, I am getting my Master's of Information and Library Sciences through Louisiana State University, and I currently have a 4.1 GPA.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I also provide support to the Department of Libraries at the state level. I do a lot of teaching. So, again, really involved with the state, and I just love to support our libraries across Vermont. I have a little bit of background working in bookstores. I worked for a bookstore called Indigo, which is your version of Barnes & Noble in the United States, for 15 years, and I ran $7 million annual revenue stores. So a ton of experience from working in little rural libraries to humongous bookstores. So I'm super delighted to be here. Richford is very similar to the hometown that I grew up in Northern Ontario. So hardworking people, industrial people, agricultural people, and I love supporting the public that work so hard. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm incredibly, one of the main reasons that I really said yes to this job was to support the construction project that is going on within the building. I have about 3 years experience of doing that, but in bookstore formats. So taking old bookstores and basically transferring them into new workable spaces that could serve the public better, and frankly for bookstores make them more money, let's be honest. So I'm delighted to be a part of that. I'm also just really grateful to have such a wonderful library trustee board. They are so committed to our library and supporting the public. So that's basically just a little bit of an overview. I mean, practically, I've been married for 18 years. I have 2 children, 15 and 12. So, and I love living here. It's just a beautiful place to be and beautiful people to support and serve every single day. So, that's just a little bit about of me. And one of the things, just a piece of encouragement, is on my first day when I drove in and I seen the scaffolding up against the side of the building, and my trustees say, that's the town. The town's actually paid to have this work done, and the town is paid to put the roof on the building. And I just thought, what an amazing partnership. It just was such an encouragement to me right out of the gate, knowing that I was saying yes to a library where the town was behind the library. So thank you, first of all, for that. And I look forward to the future for many more partnerships. We are having our state librarian join us in January, which is a huge deal. She doesn't come around a lot. So she will be coming for a visit in January, along with our capital campaign manager, who manages all of the federal funding at state level. They're going to be doing a walkthrough of our B'nai B'rith. So I'm incredibly proud that they've decided to come and see us. It might be making some publicity news, so I just would love to invite you if that's something that you're interested in coming alongside us and being part of. They're incredibly excited about the work that we've already done. Certainly your help with the exterior, but a lot of the new things that are already happening in the interior of the building. Really future-proofing this library to ensure that we can serve the public long term. So that's basically what I have for you. I mean, again, just hear more about what's going on and meet you all personally, get to know you all. It took me a few months to get to know all of our select board members and what everybody did and how everybody served, but that's basically what I have for you.
All right.
So thank you for having me.
Any questions, guys? Well, thank you.
You can email me anytime or swing by. We're not far.
Yeah. Okay. So seeing no Greta, the housing code ordinance.
I think we're gonna, hold off on that. We didn't get the clarifications we were looking for from the attorney.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna kinda hold off on discussing that further.
Okay. Town administrator.
Okay, so we were approved for the wildland fire gear. I know I talked about it a couple times. I got the official approval acceptance letter on Friday for that, so that's a $3,000 grant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think it's ever been applied for, and our fire department does not have any wildland fire gear, so.
No PPE.
No PPE,
Yes,
sorry,
yeah.
for wildland fires. We have a proposed closing date of January 16th for 50 our street. Fingers crossed that goes through this time. Third time's a charm, hopefully. Per the police meeting last Thursday, we heard from the community and they wanted us to reach back out to Franklin County Sheriffs. That did happen. I sent an email Friday on that. And Sheriff Grismore was quick to respond. We're still in conversation on what coverage could possibly look like. He didn't really give us.
I think the best way to assess where we are at is basically we're trying to establish where things were left. So
That conversation has started, just so the public knows that the board is pursuing conversation with the sheriff's department. Like Alan said, we're kind of waiting on the attorney for some clarifications, but in the meantime, I did reach out to Tim Smith because St. Albans has adopted a similar ordinance like we're trying to do, and he's put me in contact with Chip Sawyer. I'm not exactly sure who that is yet. I haven't heard from him, but I did reach out to see how St. Albans handles their admin as far as their housing ordinance goes. So I'm hoping to get some information and feedback from him, hopefully a meeting to see how they are able to enforce their ordinance. I also have mowing bids for next year. I've received 2. I don't know if we want to extend it and see if we can get a few more, or if you want to see what these 2 bids are. The post has been out for 2, almost 3 weeks now, and I've only gotten 2.
You wanna let it go another 2 weeks when we meet next?
When we meet next, we can do that.
and have you refreshed your post at all?
I haven't, and I thought Kylie gave me the suggestion of maybe reaching out to a few different companies, so I was gonna reach out to, I think it's Avery's.
Yeah.
They have mowing, so I was gonna reach out to a few different people and see if they were interested in placing a bid as well, so we could have that
Have a deeper pool to
to choose from,
Okay.
besides just 2.
alright, so.
And I believe that was all that I had.
Nothing, you don't have any updates from Kylie? Anything to share?
No.
Okay. Highway report, well, we are off and running in the snow plowing since last time. They've worked quite a few days, I guess, since. Back roads are passable, but it is tough because the ground is not frozen. But I think it's getting better each time they go out. Noticeable thing, we do need to. I don't know what the solution is to towing, not being able to find it. I know we talked about the boots and stuff. That works great in the summer, but they really just, in the wintertime, they need to be moved, you know, and I don't know, I mean, we've pretty much exhausted all known
Local.
but I mean, so I don't know if anybody else has. I mean,
I know we've
done Stones, La Roses,
we-
TDI is not interested.
no, we haven't reached out to him this year. I mean, I don't know if anything's changed. It's worth a shot to try to reach out to him again, but I don't know. They pretty much shut us down right off
Last year.
last year. So
Doesn't hurt to ask.
no, so I
think-
can reach out to TDI.
and the guy last year got out of it totally, right?
Well,
He moved in.
There's nobody in Enosburg,
No.
La Rosas and
Yeah.
Enosburg won't do it?
No, La Roses was not interested, so. And it takes a special insurance, so I mean, I think
you
there's a
can't
couple.
just hire. I mean, we do have. There's people that do towing, but we need, because we're a municipality, they have to have a certain amount of liability insurance to be able to. I mean,
Which-
so if something happens, we don't want to be. The town doesn't want to be liable for.
Which, I don't know how much it costs, I just know it's above and beyond what they would normally have for coverage.
Is that something the town could look into?
We'd have to reach out to the LCT. As far
To
as
see if we
the-
can, I mean, we obviously, like, you know, have plow trucks and stuff and have liability insurance and
Right.
wondering if that's something that the town could look
Yeah.
into and then it would maybe be more attractive
They
to someone.
Probably would have to be an employee of the town to be able to cover it in our insurance, I'm assuming.
Yes, I would think that they would. I think you're right. I think they have to be employed by the town. But
And then there's this, I think that even opens us up to more liability. You know, if it's much simpler, I don't want to say simpler, but less risk to the town if we have a
Well,
private.
of course, it would be a lot
And they
less
get
better.
and a vehicle gets damaged versus the town.
But if we
Then you-
can't find anyone to do it,
then you have
it's
to
like
find
we-
someone to store. You have to find someone to store, or somewhere
think
to
that
store the
Right,
vehicle. They would have to. I mean, if they tow on a weekend, someone has to be available to. Except, you know, because there's a fine obviously for towing, so you have to have someone available where they can pay the fine. Because I mean, you can't tow a vehicle on
of
a
course,
Friday
no, I'm
afternoon
not saying
and then
to take on all that as
you
a
know.
town. I'm saying if
But
Cover their
the
insurance.
issue
to
was
cover
the insurance,
yeah.
could we look into commercial insurance for that?
What do neighboring towns do we know?
I know I spoke with the Enosburg town person and they're not, they really worked hard, you know, lots of notices, lots of reaching out, conversation. They said they've only, and then the few times that they had actually gone to the point, like they paid to have it towed. Whereas we have not.
We put the fee on the owner
Yeah.
of the vehicle rather than the town paying it.
What if we talk to one of these companies and maybe,
We
you know,
pay.
from a financial standpoint, you know, say to them, okay, you charge whatever you want, and if you come up and do this a couple times a year for us, you know, we'll add $100 per tow or whatever to that, because they don't tow that many cars.
No, they don't,
No,
but it's.
you get a few cars towed and then it
it's-
sets
the word
an
goes out.
example and the word
It's the
gets out
initial-
and
The initial part of the season, yeah.
But if we sweeten the financial part of it a
Yeah.
little bit for
Yeah,
them, you know, say $100 more than what they normally charge.
And then they charge whatever for the person
I
to
don't
pick it
know.
up.
Maybe, do you
That
want
could be a good idea.
reach out to TDI and, you know, first ask what they're interested, if they're interested, and then, wasn't there there was a guy in not Enosburg, Highgate that but we never, that's the one you could never get call you back, right?
I called somebody, it was Swanton.
Swanton, somebody else
And
besides TDI.
Is there a Napa? It's in Swanton somewheres. It was a Napa store, but they do towing too. I got the recommendation from somewheres, I can't remember where, but I reached out a couple times and I was told I would get a call. I wasn't speaking to the right person and I'd get a call back and I never
Okay,
heard back. So I took that as we're not interested, but I can reach out again.
okay, well, 'cause-
Question. If you can't get the towing, I mean, ideally, we want the vehicles out of there and towed. Would do we have the capability to put fines, tickets on the cars? That might defer
Well,
a
again,
couple.
I know we keep talking about it, we don't have the enforcement capability.
Okay.
But that's where the
Okay.
boot could come in on the winter and they'd
Right.
have to come over here and pay it.
Pay to get the boot
Well-
taken
Get
out,
the
but
boot
then,
taken
I mean, I
off.
jokingly said, maybe the thing is, the town just starts,
Booting vehicles.
no, I mean, loading the snow right up in front and back of them.
Yeah.
So
plow 'em
they,
right
so it
in.
becomes an incredible burden to get it out.
Take a little extra and pack them in.
yeah, without damaging the vehicle.
Without
Without
damaging
damaging the vehicle.
Without any damage to the vehicle.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, that's gonna happen regardless, whether you're trying to do it or not. I mean, that's where the snow goes.
but, I don't know, so yeah, the boot would be it would. Maybe it's a solution, it's just not as ideal in the winter as it is in the summer.
It's not, but if they had to come over here and
so-
get Jeremy or somebody to come over there and get that boot off of the car because now they owe a $200 fine because they didn't move the vehicle.
And when they boot it, they gotta pay to get the boot taken off.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can pursue that, but, and did you order any of those, or?
The boots, no, I was waiting, cause it's we gotta change we'd have to put it in the ordinance before we could even put any boots on vehicles at all.
Yeah, okay,
So that's a process, but I looked into the pricing of them, but we didn't order any because we hadn't
Well,
moved
do you
further.
remember
with
what they
it.
were around?
well,
I
first
wanna
step,
say they're like, they range anywhere from like $200 to $600, depending on the type of boot that you get.
so, let's, try to contact as many, also try to find how much it costs for that type of insurance. I know Kylie, like you said, Kylie talked to one of the,
I think it was somebody in Milton.
somebody that had been doing it forever in Milton for somewhere, a big municipality. So ask them if they have an idea what the,
What the insurance looks
and
like.
maybe it's a stipend. We provide,
True.
we provide a stipend, the equivalent of the insurance or something. It'd be like part of the contract. Our towing contract is, you get to collect the fees of the towing and you get this base amount.
For,
you know,
to
we wouldn't-
help
we don't-
pay for your liability insurance.
Well, we won't call it that, we'll just call it
No,
a stipend, but,
Stipend, yeah.
so yeah, you can, for the next board meeting.
Yep.
So. Other than that,
Just to confirm.
Confirm.
I mean, as we start plowing, you find what's broken, what was due to break. So there, it's been some little few bumps in roads, but the highway guys have been, we're lucky they're pretty mechanically inclined and they've been able to tackle most everything that's broken so far. Other than that, I don't have anything. So, buildings.
Buildings. I really haven't got much for any updates, at this point. The roof has not started at the municipal building at this point.
Can they do that in the snow in winter? Or-
I don't know, it may end up being a spring project, so I will reach out to him.
You might wanna wait anyway, cause you could pull more damage to the building if you.
Exactly, if it storms in between, whatever, so. I'll reach out to him, see what's going on, see what's happening. The library looks really nice, the roof design looks really good, thank God. I believe not much else at this point.
To
Everything's
answer
cleaned up.
Rowena's question from last meeting about the signage on the post office door, I did speak to the post office and it is their responsibility to put the stickers and
Yep.
things on there.
Cindy did say
So,
someone was coming
Someone
out.
was supposed to be coming
Yeah.
to do that.
But did you notice that there was caulking that's falling down from that window? Were you aware of that?
Now, what's happening is, the gentleman's coming back and putting a new sill plate in. And he has the flashing, cause he does not like how the outside of the building looks with that door. Because the hair is smaller all the way around. He's coming back, he had to order the flashing to come around and he's coming back and it's on their dime to make that all look good.
Okay.
I
And they'll
did-
take care of that caulking that's.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah. And Cindy did say that door is definitely more airtight and the
Oh, yeah.
building is a lot warmer, so we're losing less heat with the new door.
Yes.
That's good. She goes, well, it's hot in here. She goes, we're gonna have to turn the heat down. I went over one day to
Yes,
check in and.
they're liking it, so.
Yeah.
Besides that, not a lot else going on, just kind of on a standstill, still waiting on quotes for those pillars, and, Marissa, you reached out to a gentleman, Beth O'Brien was supposed to send Kylie a name, and Kylie was gonna follow up with you.
I don't know if she has
Okay.
heard or not.
Okay,
I don't have that update, but Kylie just did come back from vacation, so
we'll touch base with
we'll have to
that.
touch base with her on that.
Can I add one thing, just more of a question? So the library was awarded a $10,000 ALA grant for transforming communities, and we're trying to source a electric door for the back door.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if any of you have tried to get electric doors for any buildings, but especially in Franklin, it is really hard. I tried to do it at IG for a year, and we couldn't find a contractor to get one in.
That
Love
is
to
the
hear
hardest.
people's- just on the note of business, or on the note of buildings, like if anyone has any ideas on,
Okay,
or any like great local tradespeople that could, install that would be, obviously not now, but when the weather gets nicer, the money is there, we just need to.
okay,
Find somebody to do
Installed.
it. Yeah,
yeah,
we have a lot of trouble with that.
that's the part that getting contractors, cause the ones that could do it are so busy and so booked out that they don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
So they're like putting you out, and the other ones are,
I did just ask the guy that's gonna install the electric gate over at the park, probably come this spring. I don't know if he does electric doors, but I will, I just put a
Yeah.
text out to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of supporting our local tradespeople. I know Enosburg it took them like a year and a half to get someone in to actually install it, so,
yeah,
there are others, any communities that seem to have had it done, but it did take quite a while, so
It
I was
does.
just wondering if anyone had any ideas, so.
okay. Yeah. I'm good.
Already, water and sewer?
I don't have anything this time, Alan.
Don't have much.
You get that report in.
Jeremy got that report in, the state of Vermont was looking for some clarifications on the dates of some of our testing reports getting into them, and Jeremy did respond to that, so should be good on that. But other than that, I don't.
Okay.
really-
And then same,
And I think the extension up to by the golf course is ready to go out to bid, because I think I
Yes.
signed the final paperwork last week.
Yeah, Kylie did, now that you say that, Kylie did say that it is getting ready to
Go out to bid.
go out to bid
Yeah.
for next year.
Parks and playgrounds? No. Alrighty,
I have one thing for the parks and playground.
Okay.
Kristen, do you have on your list for maintenance on the gazebo? Come springtime, because somebody spray painted in one spot, blue paint. And it's just like the benches are looking a little rough, and some of the boards might need to be replaced and then painted.
Yeah, and I thought we were gonna try to look at possibly using the high school students, like some community, I can still look into that.
yeah, I would ask Beth.
Yeah.
I can reach out to them.
And John did bring me in, somebody had busted one of the light covers in the gazebo, so I'm gonna work on trying to get that
Yeah.
replaced.
And if we can have the town crew do with their magic that they did last year and put the two green lights and two red lights and have the
Yes.
center ones
Yep.
out, that looks nice. The gazebo
Change the
was decorated this weekend.
So if you see
And we're
Jason,
gonna get,
Teachers
the
and
rec's gonna put in 2 trees again,
Okay.
like they did last year.
Okay, if you need extension cords, we've got extension cords that we can help you out with,
Okay,
so that you can have all the lights around it.
okay,
Yeah,
and we
that looks really
also,
nice.
we also actually, we had somebody, the rec had somebody make, John Hancock actually, he made us, when you go through Enosburg in the park, they've got the little walkways that you can go under.
Mhm.
We've had some of those made for Davis Park, and we're gonna be placing those in there as well, so that'll dress it up nice.
Okay, and so, yeah, we've got plenty of
Extension cords, okay,
extension cords of different lengths, yeah.
Cool.
Just let me know
Yeah.
and get those.
We can't be doing anything like that over here,
they'll do the lights like they normally do,
but that's it.
that's it, yeah.
was that Greta that came in earlier?
Yes, it was.
Greta, do you wanna come on in? I'll get you a chair.
How's everyone?
Good, how are you?
Sorry if I didn't get here in time, I'm not sure where you are in the agenda.
That's okay. We can squeeze you in.
Skipped over me.
We did, but we can go back to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I'm here, I wasn't able to make the final presentation that VHB gave to the board on the sidewalk scoping study from where the sidewalk ends near Troy Street down to the elementary school, and I just wanted to make sure to come back and touch base with you on if you had any questions on funding or next steps or setting aside match for the construction of the sidewalk. I did take the opportunity just to print out a few copies of just the preferred alternative. If anyone wants just to have it fresh in your mind, what that alternative is. And it is a sidewalk that goes down at Elementary School Drive and then is on the west side of Route 105. So in front of the homes and the businesses along that side of the road. And the estimated construction cost is about $1 million. And so one thing to look towards is a Vermont Bike Pedestrian Program grant that comes out every year annually in June. And there's a 20% match for that, so you'd be looking at about $200,000, which is, is a pretty good chunk of change. But so what I would recommend, if this is something that you're interested in pursuing and constructing with the support of federal dollars, is to put aside like a reserve fund where you can start putting aside some money each year in your budget, specifically for this project. And so, and then you could anticipate, it might be constructed over the course of 3 years, from the point where you apply and receive the grant. So it's not like you need to have, you can make a schedule for when you would have that match met that would then align with when would be appropriate to apply for that grant funding. So just wanted to touch base with you again, knowing that I wasn't able to make that meeting and have the opportunity to chat with you about any questions or on funding or next steps.
At that last meeting, Wally had brought up a good point about the snow plowing on the sidewalk. The state plows, they go through there pretty fast and they throws the snow off to the side.
Yeah, that's a
Did that
challenge in the
ever get-
winter, in all villages with the sidewalks. So it's either something, I don't know what you do in the village center, related to snow on sidewalks,
Well, I just think the side of the road that you went down, it would have been less of an issue on the other side. I mean, you might have had to get some different right of way, but it would be you'd be further removed from the road if you went down. If you're going out of town, the left side versus the right side. And I think there'd be less of the other costs too, culverts for driveways and whatever, a lot less the other things. That was just my thought.
I mean, the cost ended up being more.
On the other side?
For the other side, it was about $200,000 more.
And why is that?
It may have to have had to do with some drainage issues, and you had to do I don't honestly remember the specific details.
Okay.
I would have to ask the consultant, but I just know that it was slightly more really in the name of the
Well,
game.
I mean, that's 20% more, I guess, or more.
Yeah, so, it doesn't, you add, one of the features of the east side of the road was that you needed 2 crossings instead of just one,
That's true.
which does complicate things along that road, just from a safety perspective.
So who would be responsible for plowing in the winter of those sidewalks? Would that be us?
I'm assuming.
It
And
would,
I'm
it would
wondering, would it be worth the initial investment to put it on the other side and not incur the cost of having to plow that in the winter? I mean, it takes several years to,
But you'd still have to plow it, it just would be, I guess maybe the frequency would be less, I don't know.
Can I ask, what is the problem with going up Noyes Street and down, I mean, they've already got a path there.
I think that the idea was to make a direct route and not to discourage use of the path, but understanding that the path is not necessarily a year-round route or one that is as directly accessed to the village sidewalk network.
I just think 105 is too dangerous for people to be walking down that side of the road.
I mean, that's the point of the sidewalk, I guess, is because if you're on an actual sidewalk, you're somewhat protected. There's not a lot of room for buffer there, for sure. In the alternative design, they were where there was space, able to add a little bit of a grass buffer, but there's not always space without having to seek right of way.
What does the village do for, I mean, the kids, are they supposed to ride the bus?
It's choice.
It's their choice?
A high school, I think if they live
In
within
town.
a certain proximity, they have to walk, they can't ride the bus.
The elementary school, everybody rides a bus, well, they're supposed to.
They're supposed
Busing is provided for all students because they're not in the village. Where this one, the village kids walk to the high school.
Yeah. I mean, I know that once you add the sidewalk and there's and a crosswalk, I think there is opportunity for traffic calming. That in itself can add to traffic calming. It is 35 there, and I know probably it doesn't get followed, but the addition of additional pedestrian amenities can help with that, and you can look into other opportunities that would, help encourage that 35 mile per hour, crosswalk. I think there's opportunities with the sidewalk to also provide pedestrian connection to the businesses along the west side. I'm not sure if the daycare facility is still in that building, but the building where the daycare was, and Pinnacle, I don't even know if it's called Pinnacle Peddlers anymore, but Stewart's. I'm a little dated in my.
So yeah.
And then just the residents, you all know this. So, it's obviously, up to you. I just wanted to make sure to sort of bring this closure to this conversation and make sure that you're aware of that grant opportunity and, any support we can provide in moving this forward. Making sure it doesn't get sort of just put on the shelf and forgotten about.
Okay.
A new topic, if I could, I would just touch base on the regional plan quickly.
Yeah, sure.
And when we're done with this agenda topic, could I just bend your ear with one other topic very quickly, not to make a decision?
I think we're in other business anyway, so.
Are there any other questions on this topic? Okay.
Okay.
Bend away.
So we just sent out notice to all of the communities 30 days in advance of our public hearing on the draft regional plan. And one of the things the regional plan does is map areas that are eligible for Tier 1B Act 250 jurisdiction. And so every community with a village center and planned growth area, as is mapped in Richford, has the opportunity to opt in to that Tier 1B jurisdiction. And so what that means is that housing projects of 50 units or less on 10 acres or less would not have to get an Act 250 permit if they're located within these areas. So this is generally in the village center and immediately surround the neighborhoods around the village center. And so there's a few requirements. You have to have local zoning and subdivision regulations. You have to confirm that you have local capacity for administering your development review and zoning. But other than that, it's just opting in, and then once the regional plan is approved, that status would hold. And again, it just applies to housing projects. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention because Richford is one of the towns that has not taken action on that yet. And you can either take action to opt in or just decide to not opt in at this time.
And what are the benefits? I mean, is there substantial cost savings? Not having to do the development and potential speed up of more housing?
The idea is to incentivize housing, right? So it was something the legislature felt was in their control to help incentivize housing in the face of, an extreme shortage and affordability crisis in the state. And so they were looking at ways that they could help encourage or incentivize housing in the areas that communities are planning for. So these are the areas that are walkable to centers that typically have infrastructure like sewer and water. So that's what Act 250 permitting does. When there is local zoning in place, it can add time and cost to a project to get that Act 250 permit. So if you opt in, then that time and cost would not be needed for those projects.
But in doing that, you're basically giving up a level of oversight of that project, because you're giving up Act 250. And I don't feel, speaking for myself, I'm not an engineer or a lawyer. I mean, we have zoning in our town, but are we qualified to oversee the construction of even a 50-unit development? I mean, we're not engineers. I mean, do we need that Act 250 oversight as a
Buffer?
or a way to make sure that it's being done right? Are we giving up a layer of protection here, is my question, I guess. It sounds like we are. It's putting
you're
the
definitely
burden on the town to make sure that things are done right and taking it away from the state. And like I say, I'm not an engineer. I don't feel qualified to oversee something like that.
If you would like, I can speak to that. Those are all good questions, good considerations. You're certainly, giving up a level of review that happens at that state level with that looks at a lot of different criteria, including traffic and natural resources and conformance with the regional plan. I think that the other part of your comment is related to your local zoning and your development review capacity and ability to review projects. I mean, there's a lot of tools within zoning to effectively review projects, to seek out assistance if needed for complicated projects, whether that's through VLCT or regional planning, or requiring independent technical reviews by engineers if needed. So these are all tools that you have that are accessible to you. But again, it's up to you. It's not. I can let you know why I think it might be beneficial to the town to do so, but it's not a requirement. The legislature did leave it up to municipalities to make that choice. And so I wasn't intending that you would, need to, obviously it wasn't on your agenda tonight, but knowing that you were one of the towns that hadn't yet, I wanted to just take the opportunity to bring it up.
Is there a deadline for making the decision, or can we think about it for a while and?
The deadline's coming up, right?
The deadline, I mean, technically, we were looking to try to get everyone opted in by, we already submitted our pre-application, so that sort of soft deadline has passed. We have a public hearing on December 17th, and so that would be another opportunity to look, like the next deadline, I guess would be then. After, we're gonna be submitting our plan. We're anticipating having the plan on the Board of Commissioners agenda for adoption in March, at the end of March. So that would be the next sort of deadline. If you don't make it then it would be a little bit more of a involved process to be added at a later date after that adoption.
But it could be done at a later date.
But it could be, you can come in and request work with the Regional Planning Commission to apply for just a Tier 1B, amendment essentially to the regional land use map, so.
Well, Rowena, as a development board, somebody on the development review board, what are your thoughts on something such as this?
I would side kind of with Alan on the thing to have that expertise, unless we hired somebody within the town to do that. So it gets pretty complex when you're talking that many units and things, and it's gonna be a big time commitment. We're not gonna be able to make a decision on one of those types of applications in one meeting or two meetings. It's gonna be something, Greta, how long would you think that they would normally take if you had a 50-unit, to make sure that it meets everything?
I mean, it really depends on how the 50-unit project is designed, like a 100-acre subdivision on individual lots is different than, a multi-unit home or structure in the building that might have, 30 to 50 units, and those are very different types of projects, but, so, and again, this would kick in for anything over 10 units, right now your Act 250 trigger is, 10 units, so, a lot of times, I think what we're anticipating seeing is that not necessarily 50 units that might come, but this isn't gonna necessarily, in some cases, developers or property owners might be encouraged by this to maybe move forward quicker, but I anticipate that we're gonna see projects that are in that like 10 to 15 to 20 unit range, not necessarily 50. But yes, they're, big projects, and so it would, if the development review board is not used to seeing those types of projects, it does take some time and capacity to review them, and there are resources there.
So you would be looking at least 2 or 3 months, in some cases, or even longer?
I think it depends on the town, so, and without being super familiar with, the town of Richford, but I mean, certainly one hearing is, and then that's 1 month, and if you were to, perhaps a continuation at least once would be necessary, and so that would be 2.
And is our zoning sufficient to, to assume to handle something such as this?
It would be big enough where it would go to the DRB.
Yeah, so it would be.
The zoning would refer to DRB for, conditional use or whatever it happens to be.
So, when it comes time that you put that on the agenda, for potentially taking action, there is a resolution form, and that I had emailed. So
Yeah, I do have that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and so that's what, if that's what you would sign as a board when you're ready to, if you are ever ready to.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys, table it for now?
Yeah.
But can you put it on our agenda so it doesn't get lost for
Yeah.
next time, for a discussion again?
And then again, the regional plan is on our website, nrpcbt.com, if anyone is interested in taking a look at that plan. The other thing to note, in addition to the Act 250 jurisdiction, is the state designation program. So the designated village center in Richford will now be determined by what's on that map. And so when this plan is approved, there are some modified boundaries, an expansion to the designated village center. And then also the planned growth area that surrounds the designated center will be a designated neighborhood. And so there's some benefits and tax credits that come along with that. So that's just a positive for Richford, and that's there's not really any downside to that. That's just property owners can take advantage of that if they want to. And
So-
there's also grant priority.
You mean such as like, myself wanting to put another home on my existing property, is that what you're saying? Or like how would an individual property owner take advantage? Or only if they were doing the bigger developments?
Well, if you are an income generating property and you wanted to make improvements to your structure, you can have tax credits for making those improvements. So there's that, and then the town can. There's a whole host of benefits, but the tax credits, land gains tax exemption, the yeah, those are the two that are coming to my mind, but there's a whole list.
And what is if we opted in, what's the time frame for, say, a property owner, in the conversation we're just having, that wanted to make upgrades to their property, would they be eligible to apply for that such tax credits?
So the tax credits is totally entirely separate
Okay.
from the tier 1B.
Okay.
So you can have the state designation and that's sort of automatic with the adoption of the map.
Yeah.
And that's totally separate from the Act 250 exemption.
Okay.
So you can have the tax credits
So
and the
we're talking two
designation.
different things, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, without the tier 1B.
Okay.
So two different things that are now determined by the regional land use map, and that is a new change.
Okay.
So if you wanted to take a look at the map, you're welcome to, and you can look at it on our website
Okay.
quite easily, so.
Okay.
Or I encourage you to.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for her? Alrighty. We'll go around the room, other business. Rowena?
Yes, the DRB would like, to have the select board approve, we have two people that have shown interest in, joining the DRB. One as, our missing member and one as an alternate. So is Cameron Harp would like to be on as a full-fledged member, and then, Craig Sesko as an alternate for that. And we're still looking, because it'd be great to have we'll take as many alternates as we can to fill in if we have members that aren't available.
So
Looking for a
you
motion
need a motion to
I'll make a
approve
motion
the
to
two
approve.
members.
as Lorena had told us.
Yeah. Motion to approve
I'll
Cameron
second
Alrighty. Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And
Hearing
those, Marissa, I think we decided 2027 was when their term would end.
Would end, yes,
Good.
after looking at all the appointments.
After looking at that.
Your alternate has a term too?
Just do that. I think that's about it. Do want to thank the town crew for putting up all the ornaments. I think they have two left that I just put bulbs in
Nice.
over there.
Yes,
And then they have to fix one by the post office.
Yep.
But yeah, they've got, that's it. And we're gonna need to put on the agenda for the springtime is to do some touch up on them. Does the town have like a white enamel paint that they have on hand, or is that something that we'd be?
we'd have to look, I'm not sure.
There's a few little spots that we're seeing a little bit of nicks and stuff and rust, and with the cost of those ornaments, we wanna make sure.
Wanna keep them up, yeah.
Right. And it was very good, it was, like 7 green lights, 3 white and 1 red, 1 solid burned out, and we got them going on the 3rd year.
Good year, okay, we were curious if it was 2 or 3, we couldn't
I think
remember.
this is the 3rd year that we.
Nice.
The
They look
new ones
nice.
are in and all put up, and
They look nice.
So they must have did them when they took down the Veteran Day signs at the same
I
time?
think so.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, and they did all but the 2 that
That needed the bulbs.
needed the bulbs, which is good.
Okay.
So. Eric?
Eric?
Eric's leaking.
Okay.
I have 2 properties that have been in violation, in and out of violation, and they're back in violation. One's an abandoned property on Province Street, the other one is a destroyed property on East Richford Slide Road. And, we discussed it at the last DRB meeting, and I think everybody's in agreement that they should go to the attorney.
Cause the East Richford one's one that you've been getting complaints on.
Yeah, well, both of them, I think you've been getting complaints on Province Street.
Yes,
And then I've
For
been
many
getting
years.
complaints on East, well, actually, it's, Robert.
oh yeah, brought up in one of the meetings, one of the
Somebody complained to him
buildings.
about the one in East Richford.
Yep.
And I also found out the one in East Richford, when it burned down, the neighbor went over and covered the open septic with some boards and some plywood. So that also involves there's an open septic at that property. And it's a total
How would a
loss.
fire expose the septic?
It was a plastic cover.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was close enough to the building.
I see.
It mounted.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a motion to approve, I'll make a motion to move forward with seeing the attorney about these.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of sending these two properties to the town attorney?
Right?
Hey,
All those in favor, yeah, all, motion, the motion
Yeah.
passes. Ms. Burns?
At the law enforcement meeting that we had, you had said to me, did I have any suggestions in reference to the law enforcement? I didn't at that time, but I contacted Lisa Hango, which is like, might as well not have, but, she suggested that we started to assemble a group of concerned citizens to bring it formally to you guys, to the select board, with different types of suggestions that they may have, which I thought maybe was a good idea. Also, have we ever thought about reaching out to the taxpayers, asking them what they think about the law enforcement? Knowing that it's probably gonna raise taxes, are they, do they, you know, what is their basis for it? Are they willing to pay more taxes for law enforcement? I talked to Jesse Woods in Enosburg, had a long conversation with him today, because I really didn't understand. I mean, we've got so many towns, and I didn't even think of Bakersfield. Why we just dropped out. Now, I understand about Sheriff Grismore, no doubt, and I understand, I knew some of those deputies and they were scared of their own shadow. So they weren't effective up here anyway. To pay that amount of money is ridiculous for what they would cover. And Sheriff Grismore doesn't seem to be wanting to play or wanting to do anything for any of us. And that's more apparent after speaking to Jesse. But there's gotta be something other than the sheriff's department that we can do. It may take months, it may take years. But I don't think that we should just drop it and not have any law enforcement. I think that we need to continue working on this. And it's not, I mean, you've gotta get the concerned citizens, taxpayers involved.
Sorry.
Do we have a way to, I'll say off-season, I mean, I know we mail out town reports, no, we don't do that
mail
anymore.
out town reports.
Do we have a way, I mean, I know the village, when they do like water and sewer, could put out a survey. Do we have a way, like, can we do like a mailing postcard to the whole town? And,
Can you do like a
Last
survey
what?
monkeys?
well, I mean, I guess if we got some questions,
Could do it at town meeting, you know, we have the table, we could have, it wouldn't be related to the election, so we could do it. You know, if you were looking for some kind of survey, have everybody that comes in to vote, you know, fill out the survey.
Because you do get a lot of taxpayers that come in and vote at the election. But
what
you
about
would,
the ones that don't come in to vote though? Can you
I
send
mean,
them with the
so
Maybe
when
could mail
we
them
can
with
do
an
'em-
absentee
Well,
ballot.
Yeah,
I mean, there
that would
seems to be a
work.
lot of people that are concerned, but they don't
come forward. Yeah.
I mean,
I
they've got
agree.
to come forward.
Well, that's the only way that we.
well, let's think about, maybe
You
I
can.
think, a survey at town meeting, well, historically effective and would continue to be effective, may not be the most, current could we do it,
We have a list. I mean, you have a list of taxpayers.
No, but what I was
with,
saying
like,
is,
yeah.
could, I know sometimes at my work, we do, I think it's called a forms survey, where you could do, I wonder if that's something that could be
I mean,
done.
we've done it with working on the town plan. They created a poster, and you know.
No, I'm saying.
No, and it's a form. It's a Google.
Flashing.
Yeah, it's a
Google
Google
form,
form. It's a Google form. We could you
And
put it
how
out
many-
on Facebook. I mean, social media, and then people submit their answers to the questions.
And they can only do it once.
And it goes, they only do it once, and it goes into a spreadsheet, all the answers. I've done the Google Forms before, so it's something that can be created. We just need to have the questions. What questions do you wanna add, are you willing to pay more?
Where do you, yeah, I mean, so.
Give a price range between such and,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a possible solution or recommendation. So at Highgate, when we had our town meeting last year, there was a conversation on the table about acquiring a property to be a possible library. But it was a pre-existing piece of property the town would acquire. Because no one was really, there wasn't a lot of answers, they didn't want it to be a binding vote, so what they actually did was on the ballot, they put out, I'm gonna probably botch this because I'm not, a member of the municipality, you'll forgive me, but I believe it was called a non-binding advisory vote. And it was on the ballot that the voters could write down, do you want to acquire fill in the blank miscellaneous property for a possible destination of a future library, yes or no? So as a library, we went and provided the public with as much information that we had on the public, on that piece of property, as well as our current property, to let them make that decision. But whether they voted yes or no, it wasn't binding. It was just that the select board had that data and that they could make a decision moving forward before they purchased the property or talked to realtors or anything like that. Possibly that's you might, if you're having voters come in and engage with your ballot anyways, with the voting process anyways, it's just, when you have your open forum night, if you do it Australian style, it's an opportunity to talk to the town about, this isn't binding, but we really would love your input on if this is something that you'd like us to do.
I think it's good to get, we need feedback from everybody, but this is, to me anyway, it's not a simple question.
not.
There's so many elements to this. There's the financial aspect, there's the
How much hours?
effectiveness
Yeah.
aspect. It's, the question of, are we getting anything for our money? There's the question of the whole situation with the courts right now.
Yeah.
It's a quality of life issue, for the town, for the people. There's just like so many aspects to this that I think we need in feedback, but we want feedback that's, I don't know what the word is, but.
Where they have all the information they need to
Right.
give a good
Well, what's
answer.
Right, that
What's
the
the
people.
problem with working with the other towns? As far as I know, and it's what Jesse said, that there was two that weren't interested, which was Montgomery and Berkshire. But we've got Bakersfield, Sheldon, Franklin, us, and Enosburg. To split the cost between, to get it up and running, it will take time, it will take money, but the cost would be broken down.
It still was still roughly the same cost as what it was for the sheriffs.
I think it was a lot
It was a little bit
than
more,
that.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he said.
And we were
it was
still
in the
only gonna be
millions of
getting
dollars,
like
$2
40
million.
hours a week for that kind of money.
I think whenever you do something new and outside the box, I think there's due to be upfront cost.
Mhm.
And I guess it also depends on the size and scope that Kristen and I went to several of the meetings, and reported back to the board. And I think there was, they were talking, starting as little as like 3 personnel and, buying the vehicles and, or maybe they explored up to 5. And everything has a different can you buy used vehicles? Where do you start? There was just a lot of discussion, so I think cost can vary, but I personally would be willing to pay more upfront, with the understanding that down the road it's gonna, balance back out to close to what you were paying, and being able to have what we were lacking in our current system. But financially, it's gotta, everybody's gotta be in agreement on it. So, and like I said,
And not just us, you may be willing to pay more.
Well, that's why I said-
I may be willing to pay more, but there are people in this town that don't have the ability to pay more.
well, and that's why I
That's
suggested, when we were waiting for the meeting to start, that's why I suggested maybe we pull the policing line item out of our budget this year and make it a separate ballot item
Now, is it, do we have a budget for policing?
Oh, yeah.
Because Enosburg I know does, but.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, we pull it out of the budget, so they're not, and they're looking at it straight, cause a lot of times, I don't know that people always dive into, the, whatever, the full spreadsheet of costs and revenues and stuff. So if they were looking at just that one item, they would know more of what they were paying and, we could put it in the, here's what it's gonna cost you per 100,000 assessed value, put those numbers out there and let people make a more.
What, let them know what effect it's gonna have on the tax
So
rate.
that's why I meant the cost per 100,000.
The dollar and cent increase per 100,000 of assessment.
Yeah.
How many
all
hours
of
you're
that.
actually gonna get coverage for?
Well,
That was the big part.
it's just too bad that, you've got people that that don't even dare to walk the streets. I mean, we've got to work on something. And to pay the sheriff, which I totally agree with you about, it's a waste of money. But we could be working on something else. It may, as I said, it won't be immediate for sure. But just to say, no, this is it, we're gonna depend on the Vermont State Police, that's not acceptable. That really isn't.
It's not, but at the same time, we're getting a lot more hours with the state police and we're not paying a penny for them than what we were on the sheriff's, and we were paying them a lot of money.
But it's not a
You're
long.
You're not getting a lot.
And I think, to be perfectly honest, what I see when I walk a lot. I think there's a much more of a deterrent effect when the state police are here than there is when the sheriff was here. I mean, I would see the sheriff parked in the fire station, cars going by 100 miles an hour. They didn't care if the sheriff was there or not. When the state police are here, I don't see that. I
know,
think the state police being here has a bigger deterrent effect on things
I
than the
totally agree
sheriff.
with you, but I can't remember his name, that was speaking, he said that, if we can get something for the week, they could plan on being here on the weekends. We haven't even talked about any of that, we're just saying no.
Can I speak to that? When the sheriff was, we had the sheriff here, and I get this on EMS a lot. We need a sheriff or police in town. We don't have a sheriff at night. Call the state police, well, you gotta contact, your contract. So we basically had nothing at that, during the off hours. So with the police, the state police, they will actually come up now. It's actually very nice to be a first responder in the middle of the night, and you need police coverage because you'll get it. Before we weren't getting it. We get Andre, honestly. I could call Andre in the middle of the night and he would show up, but he wouldn't be on duty. He wouldn't get paid for this. So that's I'm enjoying the state police because of, they come up to these things now.
Totally, that's great, but they come up to those things, but they're still not patrolling when they need to be.
And there are a lot of other things that we are working on. I mean, we're talking about speed bumps, to help
Cameras.
with traffic. We're working on our housing ordinance.
Which is another issue. If you're gonna do a housing ordinance, you need to make sure you're gonna be able to enforce them.
That's a big part of it.
Well, then
And
it's like a wash then.
No, because we're actually gonna be imposing significant fines, which initially we're gonna have to take the people to court to collect them, but it won't cost the taxpayers because we'll be able to collect our legal costs, but at the same time, you're gonna see a thing on the ballot this year to change our charter so that
Hopefully, it might be, if we can't do it for March, it might have to be a special vote. It depends on the meetings, but yes.
We have to get the legal stuff from our attorney, but we wanna change the charter so that if the housing ordinance is violated and we levy a fine, and it could be a significant, you could be talking $10,000-$20,000 fine, that it's gonna constitute immediately a lien on property. Meaning we're not gonna have to take these people to court. It's gonna be just like not paying your taxes. we're gonna have a lien on that property. So there's gonna be significant incentive for the landlords to comply with the housing. So there is gonna, you're right,
Consequences.
enforcement is the key to almost
Enforcement is the
everything.
key.
But we're hoping that, we've got the enforcement part of the housing ordinance. It's gonna be it's gonna be enforceable.
I think it's pretty solid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
Well, we are, I don't know if you heard from us at the beginning of the meeting, we are gonna sit and talk with the sheriffs and, hopefully be able to.
Yes,
at
I did,
least-
Friday morning, I sent an email to Sheriff Grismore and he responded after I had left work, but I got it, this morning and then I emailed him back this afternoon because he was unclear of exactly what we wanted from him, so I made it clear what we wanted and hopefully hear back from him with maybe a better solution. Maybe things have changed since last June when we talked to him before. I don't know. I'm
Well,
hoping.
the way I've
But
been told is he's selling off property, he's selling off his cruisers, I don't think you're gonna see
What we
much from
want.
him
Mhm.
because he's done in 2026, so I don't know what month.
Mhm.
But he's not gonna make it easy for
No.
anybody.
It's gonna be hard for the next sheriff that comes in play.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's frustrating.
I'm not opposed to, a group of citizens meeting to discuss exactly what they're looking for. What
Well,
what
they
type.
can, right, and then they can propose something to
Yeah, that's,
the
I would
select
en-
board.
I would encourage that.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Right.
No, if anything, it's gonna lead to solutions when everybody's working together,
Right.
so, and that's what we need.
I'm not sure how many citizens I can get.
It's our problem too.
Are you all set in that?
Okay.
Don't forget your breakfast and
That's
Santa.
what I was, yeah.
And I
You
have
wanna do that
another,
first?
Yeah, I am
Request
asking the
as well.
board, being a firefighter for the Firefighters Association, the town normally gives us a donation for breakfast of Santa, and that's what I'm asking for.
Isn't it 500?
and we did,
I
it
think it's
is
500.
500, yes,
Okay.
I did
Yeah, I was
confirm
pretty sure
that.
that's what it was.
I did confirm that today, yes.
I would make a motion.
I'll second it.
And then I have, Jamie Rushford from Cat Crusaders, last year we gave them,
Well, let's do one at a time.
you just did it,
Yeah.
didn't you?
We didn't,
All in favor.
all in favor?
Oh, look at, I'm
I'll say
switching
for
spots with you. Usually you're jumping ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any hearing none, motion passes. All right, Cat Crusaders.
Okay, so the last couple years we've given the Cat Crusaders $1,000
Thought it was
donation.
1,200.
Was it 1,200?
And I thought they were supposed to be like all of these others where you could vote on them, just so the taxpayers could show their support.
Is that what we were doing?
That's what I'd hoped to, and I kept hearing that they needed to have
A petition?
a petition, and it never got put in time. Because the Cat Crusaders is a very good program, and I'd
Yeah.
love to see them,
Mm-hmm.
they,
But they need to
I
follow
definitely think that's-
through.
to do the 1,200
Yeah.
and.
I definitely think that's what
So as an
Kylie
appro-
was working towards, and I
Yeah.
think Marina's
So
right, that Kylie was
it's-
working towards, having everybody that wants money from the town to get on the,
So it'd be
It's not gonna
it'd be
be
an
automatic
appropriation, so they
Yes.
would vote yes or no, like they
Yes.
do for like the Vermont Association
for the.
for the blind or.
Yeah.
Right. It's really
things like
nice
that.
to see how much support you have. That's the way a voter can
Yeah.
not only say yes to it, but they can show
Right.
the
Yep.
support that you're getting from the community.
So if you wanna encourage her
Encourage her to submit a
Cat
petition.
Crusaders to do that,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. What do Cat Crusaders actually do? Because all I keep hearing is, the animal control officer only handles dogs. Well, then what do I
So,
do with cats?
Cat Crusaders, if they get a phone call of, and this is the way that I understand it, is they'll come into a town and they'll take out stray cats that are having kittens and multiplying cats everywhere. So they'll come in, remove the cat, spay and neuter it, and then try to get somebody to adopt it or rehome it or
Otherwise, they bring it back
To the town.
and let 'em go.
neutered and spayed, so they can't reproduce, but yeah.
Yes,
I
exactly.
think we have it in the budget under other contractors, under animal control, the 1,200, which would be the cat crusade.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
so
It-
this time.
This time it is, we could, but for having on the,
forward,
for
yeah.
March, we could have it on the ballot as an appropriation. So I'll reach out to her and let her know that this year it'll be the 1,200. And then next for it'll have to be on the ballot for March in order for her to get her appropriation for next year. Okay, so I just need an approval to pay that out, I think.
Well, if it's in the budget, I don't think you do you?
Do we need a motion or no?
If we're gonna do it as an appropriation now.
No.
No, but for this year, I think.
But if we allocated it in the budget, I don't, it's been approved, I don't think it needs to, we don't need a motion for that.
Okay.
Mr. Weatherby,
Yes, thank you. What is the select board's procedure for hiring employees?
I'm not sure what you're asking, I mean, I think circumstances are
Does the
diff-
whole board have to vote on to it? Do you have to go into executive section? How do you do it?
Again, I think it depends on the circumstances, but I also think Kylie is the HR, essentially as town clerk, is the HR person and can work with whichever department head is overseeing that employee and can proceed from there.
Okay. Another thing is, it's a stupid dog. There's 9 dogs within a short vicinity of here. And that dog is always the one that is barking. You never hear the other ones, only on occasion you'll hear another dog bark the same time that dog does. Are you guys gonna do anything about that dog or what?
Well, so I can speak to that, Robert. This is Marissa. I am working with Tracy. We've sent the owner of this dog multiple letters stating that their dog is a nuisance, and he responds back with, I don't understand why it's not. I've sent him copies of the ordinance. And again, it's we have Tracy over to enforce them, but she can't just go onto this person's property and take their dog.
Right, I know that.
So, but we are trying to resolve the issue. It's one of those things that takes time
I guess tell us more about what is the end, like, what are the next steps to be taken? I mean, after.
I'd have to, I think, consult with the attorney on it, but I think we can send him a fine. It's just being able to get the fine from him.
But there's no avenue
Having
to
him
have the
pay.
animal removed at some point if.
Possibly, I think I'd have to dive deeper into what the ordinance actually says. I don't have it here in front of me, so I can't attest to it, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Register.
One
I
neighbor
don't know
gets
if it's
sick of
registered
it.
or not.
Okay.
But we are actively trying to resolve this issue with that certain dog.
All right. Anything else, Robert?
No, just that one neighbor really getting tired of it. He's just about ready to shoot it. Which is against the law.
Right.
Let's hope they don't do
We
that.
don't advocate that.
No.
Taking law into your own hands.
No.
Alrighty.
I mean, he wants his fleet, just like everybody else does.
Yeah, I don't blame
Yeah.
you. Do we have anything for executive?
Yes.
And it's for
Personnel.
personnel?
I put contracts on there, but it's personnel. That was
Okay.
my mistake.
Alright, do we see anything coming out of any?
I don't believe so, no.
Alright. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive
Oh,
for
I'll second it.
personnel. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.